Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into a critical and fast developing situation that has placed Belarus at the center of global concern. The country is facing one of the most intense political and military crises in its recent history, as top generals appear to be taking a stand against decisions made by the leadership. This growing tension has raised questions about loyalty within the armed forces, the stability of the government, and what this means for the people of Belarus as uncertainty continues to rise. Across the region, the crisis unfolding in Belarus did not begin overnight. For months, pressure has been building beneath the surface as discontent spread within sections of the military. Many generals have reportedly disagreed with decisions involving troop deployments, internal security measures, and the country's overall direction. This internal friction is now becoming visible, showing a widening gap between the leadership and parts of the military structure. This situation has escalated to the point where key figures are refusing to carry out certain orders, raising the possibility of deeper internal conflict. As events intensify, the people of Belarus are witnessing an atmosphere filled with confusion and fear. When military officials challenge the decisions at the top, it signals a moment of instability that can reshape the future almost instantly. Citizens are trying to understand what the generals' actions mean for their daily lives. Some see hope for change, while others fear that any internal military dispute could lead to harsher crackdowns or widespread unrest. The uncertainty surrounding the political climate continues to grow as more information surfaces. The general's decision to take a stand appears to be rooted in concern about national security and the well-being of their forces. Reports suggest growing frustration over what they view as costly and risky movements of troops, along with a lack of strategic clarity. This disagreement points to a deeper issue. The trust between the top leadership and military command may be eroding. Once trust begins to break at such a high level, it becomes difficult to maintain control and unity within the armed forces. International reactions have come quickly as other countries watch developments closely. Europe has expressed concern about stability in the region, urging all sides to avoid escalating tensions. Neighboring countries are also monitoring the situation carefully, knowing that instability in Belarus could have wider consequences. The global community is aware that the decisions made by Belarus's leaders and generals in the coming days could impact regional security and international relations. Inside Belarus, political pressure continues to climb. For years, the government has faced criticism for suppressing dissent and limiting opposition voices. The current crisis adds another layer of volatility, as disagreements among the generals bring internal fractures into public view. With tensions rising, opposition groups believe this moment could influence the political landscape. However, the risk of increased repression also grows, making the situation unpredictable and potentially dangerous. The armed forces hold significant influence in Belarus, and their stance is crucial. When generals openly display dissatisfaction, it signals vulnerability within the system. The leadership relies on military loyalty to maintain control, and any indication of weakening support can have far-reaching consequences. For the soldiers on the ground, the uncertainty about who to follow and what comes next adds to the stress, leaving them caught in the middle of a rapidly evolving conflict. The roots of this crisis stretch back to earlier protests and political tensions that shook Belarus in previous years. Large segments of the population have expressed dissatisfaction with the government, but internal divisions within the military were rarely visible. Now, those divisions appear to be emerging more clearly, revealing how deeply the political situation has penetrated the country's institutions. As more generals voice concerns, the possibility of broader military opposition becomes a real concern. The leadership's response to dissent within the military will shape what happens next. If the government chooses negotiation, there may be a chance to calm the situation. However, if the response is forceful, it could deepen the divide and push the country closer to confrontation. The coming days will be crucial, as the balance between restraint and crackdown may determine whether Belarus moves towards stability or deeper crisis. In the public sphere, conversations are intense as people try to understand the motives behind the general's actions. Some believe the military is finally standing up against decisions that may harm national interests. Others fear that any challenge to authority might lead to stricter control and further instability. The atmosphere is filled with speculation, and without clear information, rumors spread quickly, adding fuel to the tension. The general's stance raises important questions about the future of national security. When high-ranking officers express resistance, it indicates that they believe current decisions may endanger both the country and the armed forces. This concern suggests that internal debates have been ongoing for some time. Their decision to take a stand publicly shows how serious the disagreements have become, making it difficult for the leadership to ignore or downplay the situation. As uncertainty deepens, the people of Belarus are left wondering whether this moment will bring change or increased conflict. Families, communities, and businesses all feel the effects of instability. Economic conditions have already been challenging, and these new tensions could worsen the situation. Investors, partners, and neighboring countries watch carefully, knowing that political or military turmoil can have long-lasting effects on economic development and security. Media coverage, both within Belarus and internationally, has intensified. Independent voices try to analyze the situation, while state media attempts to maintain a sense of control and calm. However, conflicting narratives create confusion, making it difficult for the public to know what is truly happening behind the scenes. This information gap increases anxiety and forces people to rely on unofficial sources, which can be unreliable and further escalate fear. The crisis is also affecting young people, who represent a significant part of Belarus's future. Many are uncertain about their prospects, questioning whether they will face a stable environment or a country moving toward deeper conflict. Students, workers, and families are watching events unfold, hoping for a peaceful resolution but preparing for the possibility of further turmoil if the situation worsens. As pressure intensifies inside the state structure, some generals may feel compelled to choose sides. This moment is critical because military unity is essential for national stability. Any fracture can lead to unpredictable outcomes, including potential resignations, shifts in loyalty, or internal conflict. The leadership must act carefully to avoid provoking actions that could further escalate tensions or damage the state's control. Throughout this crisis, communication between the leadership and military command appears strained. Effective communication is key in times of tension, yet the disagreements suggest a breakdown in dialogue. Without open discussions, misunderstandings can grow, leading to dangerous assumptions and decisions. Restoring communication may be one of the few paths to preventing a collapse in military cohesion. The people of Belarus want clarity. Many hope the general's stand will bring attention to issues long ignored. Others simply want peace and stability. The situation remains delicate, and with each passing day, the pressure increases. Whether the leadership chooses dialogue or confrontation will define the next chapter in this unfolding crisis. The coming days will test the strength of institutions, the loyalty of the military, and the resilience of the people. In the broader context, regional powers are watching closely. Belarus holds a strategic position, and any shift in its internal stability could influence regional security dynamics. The actions taken by the leadership and the military will not only affect Belarus, but also shape the political environment of its neighbors. This crisis is not isolated. It is connected to larger geopolitical tensions that make the situation even more complex. The next steps taken by both sides will determine whether the crisis moves toward resolution or escalation. If the leadership can rebuild trust with the generals, there may still be a chance to restore stability. But if the divisions deepen, Belarus may face one of its most challenging periods in decades. The world watches as the country stands at a crossroads, uncertain of what the future holds.